Hey, greetings. I'm Quentin Schultz here at the Brookside Christian Reformed Church with Henry DeVries. So I think you're president of council.
I am.
Is that your official title?
Yeah, I
okay.
get chair.
And you wonder what we're standing out here right after service this morning. Well, what we're doing is looking at all the repairs that were done after we had a car come flying down the road here and zip right through, right into the side of the wall. So Henry, you take it away here, buddy.
All right, good. Now, I'm standing right outside, right between Jason's office, next to where Jason's office is, and Joel's office. And this is where, although the car hit farther down and came right into that last two windows, which is where Ryan is, in fact, we had to take the building all the way back to this point because there are structural beams up in the ceiling that hold the roof up. And so consequently, if you look really carefully, and I did this morning, you cannot tell where there is new brick over here and established brick over here because they did a great job choosing the brick and even matching the color of the mortar. Now, the other thing that's important to know outside is if Quen pans around, you'll see that we still have our plantings and we still have our rocks, but you'll probably be happy to know that we are investigating a more substantial barrier between the road and the building, because 3 times is enough for this kind of activity to happen. That's an ongoing process of investigation, and it may involve communication with the city and with the building permitter for zoning purposes, but we are actively considering what it will take to do more to stop incoming cars than just having trees and the occasional medium-sized landscaping boulder. So let's go around here, and so remember, here's Jason's office and Ryan's office, and now we're on the outside of the staff conference room. So we'll go in the side door here.
You know, this is spectacular on the outside. I came out here earlier. I could not tell.
No.
The old and the new.
I couldn't either. I had to ask Jason exactly where it was. So now the first room which was rebuilt is the staff conference room. This room is, again, the dimensions are exactly the same. The inner wall is the same, and this is some of the original brick from the first building. But this room has now been slightly redesigned. We have new glass, we have new windows, fridges are there. There was a large credenza console countertop in here. That's gone. We have a much smaller one. And so now we have room for a few more folks. The other thing we have is we have added a large screen TV and a video conferencing unit. So when we have meetings which have folks who are remote, they are able to remote in. So now we have effectively 3 smart remote rooms. We have this room, we have the gathering room by the sanctuary, and the discipleship room, all which were gifts from a congregational member to ensure that during the times we had COVID, when people couldn't be here in person or chose not to, they can now participate in meetings. And in fact, in a couple of weeks, I'll be out of town for the council meeting, but I'll be able to remote in from my laptop when I'm in Massachusetts. I want to show you a couple of other things that are now new. And you'll say to yourself, well, wait a minute, it looks exactly the same. Let's just step into Ryan's office here. Okay, now Ryan's office looks like Ryan's office used to look. And it's got the same furniture, it's got the same ceiling, the same walls, but the reality is if you were to open up the ceiling and open up the wall, which you may remember at one time it was opened up right there, all of that work is done. So cosmetically, looking at it, you'll say, well, nothing's happened except there's, some new paint. Well, the reality, all the work that was done was work in the structure of the building, and then the steel beams and the brick and the block, and then the infrastructure, which is the air and the heating, the ventilation, the electrical, and so on. There's no plumbing in this area, so we don't have to worry about plumbing. We go over here. This is Jason's office. Jason's office also looks pretty much the same. But the point I want to show you is the reason we are in Jason's office is right here is a column. When I pointed outside where we went back with the brick, we had to come back all the way to this column because the structure of the building, which held up the roof, was damaged. But again, now Jason's office looks just like it used to look. Maybe the paint colors are a little different, I'm colorblind, so I'm not the guy to guess on the paint colors. But the offices are fully intact. All the work is up there, down below us in the carpet. The other thing some of you might remember who are a little more astute or color sensitive than I am is that part of the challenge of this was repainting this blue wall. Because we had old paint and new paint, and as Jason learned and shared with me, blue paint will fade. So the last part of the project was to repaint the interior wall all the way along so the place matches. So in spite of what it looked like the last time we did this, it's all put back together. All the pieces are working. Everything is back in place except a couple of blinds that are going into the staff conference room, and the work is completed. So we have to say thank you to a group of folks. Thanks to our insurance company who helped us out with the cost. Thanks to Dan Voss Construction, who was the general contractor and arranged the subcontractors, and our own staff, thanks to Jason and to Steve, who oversaw the project, kept it on track, made all those myriads of little and big decisions to produce this wonderfully reconfigured, restored, shall I say redeemed area in the church's offices.